Okay, we're in.
Hello, welcome in.
Okay, now we're in the hidden jungle. Elephant Valley is right after we're going to the African Tram. And then after the Elephant Valley, we're gonna have lunch. I got my Baja Blast with me so I can drink it as a drink when it's lunchtime. But now we're heading to the African Tram.
I'm going to drop personal items out of the tram. They're important, but they're not an emergency, so please do not get my attention for that reason. Just remember where these items have dropped. Those of you that are sharing the front with me, do you find your emergency strips? You check your feet. There we go. Practice makes perfect. You can tap on the window that's right behind me. I'll come back and assist you. Hey. We're not having any emergencies this early, okay? To stop, stand up, take pictures, but once we start moving again, that's your cue to take your seats once again. Go ahead and take a look on that left-hand side. We've got our watchtowers of Africa. And that is going to be our tallest land mammals in the world, which are giraffe. Giraffe can stand as tall as 16 to 18 feet in height, and that is equivalent to roughly a two-story home. And if you look in between the posts near the keeper trap, you're going to see at least one of our 3 babies that are in the habitat. They are in between 1 and 2, almost 3 months of age. Super adorable. Now, giraffes have a beautiful spotted coat, just like a cheetah, which you can see on the right-hand side. Cheetahs and giraffes be able to blend in with shadows. Now for the adult giraffe, it's going to be the shadows of the trees. But when they're babies, they're going to blend in with the shadows of shrubs and long grasses. And cheetahs are going to blend in with the shadows of grasses as well. Now, why would a cheetah need camouflage if they're the fastest land mammal in the world? Well, that's because they're sprinters, they're not distant runners. And they can only maintain their speed for about 30 seconds to 1 minute, and that is because of the risk of overheating. And so they need to use the element of surprise. They need to get closer to their prey before they turn on that speed. And cheetahs are naturally going to be solitary because they can outrun everything. But sometimes you'll find 2 less dominant male cheetahs together, and they'll help protect their territory against a more dominant male. Now our flamingo, on the other hand, they're a very social species, which is the collective noun for the group of flamingos, but you can call them a flock. Now those were our greater flamingo, and they're great not because they're better, but because they are the tallest of the flamingo species. They stand at about 4 to 5 feet in height. They weigh in at about 9 pounds, which makes them the heaviest of the flamingo species. And they also have the lightest pink feathers of all the flamingos. And that is due to those greater flamingo living amongst the saline and alkaline lakes, and those bodies of water can reach a boiling temperature. whereas darker colors are absorbent. Now I would like to thank all of you for helping to support one of the two front doors that makes up the San Diego Zoo Wildlife Alliance. Admission tickets and memberships, that becomes your first donation into your facility, or our facility. I guess it is your facility as well, because we wouldn't be who we are without individual support from individuals like you. We're a not-for-profit organization, so when you purchase those admission tickets and memberships, that is a donation into our facility, and you're helping with the care of over 3,000 animals, representing over 65 different species, as well as helping with 1 million plants, representing over 3,000 different plant species, and that's 1 million plants over 1,800 acres. That makes up our entire facility. You're also helping with our conservation work. We have over 50 different conservation projects. 8 of them are known as our conservation hubs. And these hubs are spread across 6 different continents. Now our Savannah and our Southwest hubs are going to be found right out here in our African Savannah. Now, of course, our Savannah is going to be home to the wildlife that we see today. And our Southwest hub is actually surrounding our facility. We have about 800 acres of LED. And this 800 acres was specifically set aside by the founder, Dr. Charles Schroeder, to help our facility coexist with the native wildlife. Now, the habitat surrounding our facility is covered in a critically endangered biodiversity hotspot that is called California coastal sage scrub. It is the second most endangered habitat found in the continental United States, with less than 10% of the habitat left, and that is due to habitat destruction, which is primarily due to housing development. Now, habitat destruction is impacting many different species. We've got some pelicans that are already trying to hide underneath the shade of the trees. It's supposed to be a hot one today. It's going to be their nesting areas. It's going to take away their ability to be able to raise their young. Now, on that far left-hand side, we have some beautiful antelope that have a lavender silver colored coat. Those are, and they have an adaptation that actually helps them to be able to conserve water. And so these desert antelope, just like our addax on the right-hand side, they are going to absorb heat into their bodies, and they are going to increase their body temperature from 99 degrees all the way to 113. Well, we got some investigations going on that left-hand side. It's one of our males investigating the rear end of one of our ladies. We're a breeding facility, just in case you didn't know. But then I also want you to notice that there is a eland right next to that wildlife safari truck. And I want you to look at how tall that eland is compared to that truck. Elands are the largest of the antelope species. They can weigh up to about 2,200 pounds and stand at about 6 foot at the shoulder down. And so one of our elands is making sure that those animal care specialists is doing their job correctly. But again, those desert antelope are going to be absorbing heat into their bodies, increasing that body temperature. And with being able to increase the body temperature, it is going to help them to withstand higher temperatures. And with being able to withstand that higher temperature, it means they don't have to waste energy in sweating. And if you're not sweating, you're naturally going to be conserving water, which is very important. Now, they also are going to have concentrated urine, and their droppings are going to be dry as well. Those gemsbok have hooves that are shaped like a spade or a shovel, which aids in them being able to dig more effectively, and they can dig for their succulent tubers. They also are going to dig through the hot surface of sand so that they're able to get to the cooler sand underneath it before they lie down, and basically creating a cooler surface area for them to be able to lie down on. Now, those addax, on the other hand, they will stand still during the hot heat periods of the day, because in the Saharan desert, there's not a shade available. And by remaining motionless, you are conserving energy, but you're also going to help reduce your body temperature as well, which is going to be really important for wildlife like our Cape buffalo that are black in color. And remember, dark colors are absorbent, whereas lighter colors are reflective. So them just lying there, they're absorbing all this light, creating that energy and heat. Now, you're going to notice their tails are wagging. You may see their ears waving, because waving their ears is going to help them cool down the large blood vessels in their ears. And those large blood vessels are carrying large amounts of blood through their body, so they cool down that blood to flow through the rest of the body. And this is the same type of thermal regulation that elephants use. Now, our giraffe, not only are they able to use their spots to help them with cooling themselves, or being able to use it for camouflage, but their spots are also going to help them control their body temperature. Now, these spots are dark, and so they absorb light, creating energy and heat. So if you look at a giraffe through thermal imaging, their spots are glowing bright red. Now, these spots, which are also known as dapples, they are going to contain a lot more sweat glands than the lighter areas of their coats. Now, giraffe, as well as some of our antelope species, even birds, can have this adaptation of being able to change the direction of their blood. And so they are going to push the warm blood to the outer edges of their spots. And this is going to help them, because when the wind, Tefla, I'm gonna get to you, calm down. Wind is going to blow around their bodies, and that's going to create an evaporation. It's going to help them cool down. Now, giraffe are a species that can afford to sweat because they spend 20 hours out of their day browsing from the trees, consuming over 70 pounds of vegetation, and that provides them with 2/3 of the water that they need to survive. Now, mind you, they can drink roughly about every 2 to 3 days, and they can consume about 20 gallons of water. Now, other species like the Somali bald ass on the right-hand side, which are the smallest of the equine, they're living in the dry, arid environment of Somalia, and they're eating on shrubs and grasses. And naturally, equine, they've been adapted with incisors that allow them to trim off the top tough portions of plants, and they are going to not get a lot of moisture from what they're eating, and so they're more reliant on drinking from watering holes. And they can only go about 3 days without drinking water, so they have to live within 20 miles of a body of water. Now, unfortunately, our everyday activities and behaviors is getting in the way of the way that our animals are rainfall. And that lack of rainfall is going to reduce plant growth. And lack of plant growth is going to cause competition amongst the domesticated livestock and the wildlife in competing for the resources that they need. Now, with those Somali bald ass in close proximity with domesticated livestock, they're able to breed with each other, and this is causing hybridization of the species. And that is one of the reasons why their population has drastically declined, and they're sitting at less than 100 individuals in all of Somalia on the body. Now, lack of resource availability also means that the wildlife, the lactating mothers, are not able to consume the resources they need to sustain their milk supply to be able to care for their offspring. And then we also have the impact of desertification of the environment, where the overutilization of the soil, depleting it of nutrients, is reducing plant growth, drought, climate change. All of that is forcing the environment to change into a desert at a more accelerated rate. Since it's more accelerated, it means that naturally environments do turn into a desert. So the Saharan used to be a very lush green environment, and naturally, over the last 8,000 years, it's been transitioning into a desert, but now it's happening a lot more quickly. But I want you to look all the way over to the left-hand side, and I want you to look and see if you can see the watchtowers. The watchtowers all the way down on that left-hand side. Okay, I want you to raise your hands if you see the Maasai giraffe. The Maasai giraffe. I want you to look at the trees. Raise your hands if you see any giraffe all the way down at the left-hand side. I don't see any hands. That means you need to raise them high in the air. Seriously, nobody sees any giraffe? They're underneath the trees that look like an umbrella. I can see one. Okay. Well, even if you can't see the giraffe can see you because they are the watchtowers that I was referencing. Giraffe are the watchtowers of Africa because they can see 2 miles from where they are standing. They have eyes about the size of golf balls, but their height is not just for them to reach resources, it is to help them have a sight advantage so they can look out for predators. It's going to help increase the chances of all of them being able to survive while reducing the amount of prey species that the carnivores are able to consume. Now, is that selfish? Absolutely not. It's a checks and balance system. Because what is the job of the predator? The predator is population control. They're also kind of making sure that territorial ranges are controlled. And they are making sure that our herbivores do not become too abundant. Because then they're going to overconsume resources and they are going to take from other species. But at the same time, we don't want those predators to overconsume the prey species because then we lose the benefits that they are providing. So I want you to look at the trees on the left-hand side and I want you to notice that they look like an umbrella. They look like a canopy. These are the trees that I was talking about on the bridge. Now the trees look the way they do because giraffe are our landscapers. They're ecological engineers helping to shape the environment in which they are thriving on. If you look at the trees on the right-hand side, you'll notice that they are very overgrown, branches very close to the ground. This would be an example of trees that are not landscaped, trees that are landscaped. So if we lose our giraffe, we're going to have lots of trees that are overgrown, and that's going to prevent sunlight from getting down to the lower lying vegetation. So giraffe are the landscapers helping to clear out the branches so that the sunlight can get down to that lower lying vegetation to allow other species like southern white rhinos to graze and consume over 100 pounds of grass every single day. That's going to allow our grubby zebras to use their incisors because they're equine. And they're able to trim off that top tough portion of grass, which is then going to make the grass more edible for other species. Now I want you to look on the left-hand side, and I want you to look at our sable antelope. Those are the antelope closest to the tram path on the left. And I want you to raise your hands if you feel like your eyes are drawn to one of those antelope in particular. Raise your hands if you feel like the one that has the darker coat and the rather large horns, you feel like your eyes were drawn to him. Raise your hands if you feel like that. Yeah, that's the reason why he has those big horns and that dark coat. It's called sexual dimorphism, where the male and the female physically look different. And so he is going to draw the attention to himself so he can be intimidating to the predators, but at the same time, he's actually more attracted to the ladies, and you are more attracted to him as well. We are no different. Now up on the right-hand side, we have more of our desert antelope. These are the scimitar horned oryx. And the scimitars, they're also found in the Saharan desert, but you'll notice their coat is different from those addax that were at the moment gray in color because that's their winter coat, but as we warm up, their coat is going to transition back to white. Now the addax are found deep in the Saharan desert where those scimitars are on the border, like the outer edges of the desert. And so they have a coat that is going to help them stay cool by reflecting the light, but then their neck is darker in color so that they can absorb light when it's cold. So they'll face those necks towards the sun. Okay, good, not just me. Now the reason why is because of that ability to heat exchange. They can take their warm blood and push it down into their legs to keep them warm, even though they're in that cold water. Now it's incredible on how well our wildlife is adapted to thrive. But at the same time, they cannot compete with us humans. And we take advantage or even take for granted that all of these animals in plant life are able to work together symbiotically, putting their differences aside, have mutual respect for each other, and then helping to support the planet that we're all thriving on. But we take a look at these beautiful animals and we're like, oh my gosh, your coat is so beautiful. It's so interesting. I look at your horns and I love your horns. I wish I had your coat and horns. And guess what? I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna poach you just so I can have your body part. But then sometimes we do need to consume you for survival. But just taking it just so that I can have your coat on my wall, the bragging rights to say, yes, I was able to overpower this animal, seems a little selfish. And because of that, giraffe, their population has declined by 30% since the 80s. There is less than 98,000 giraffe left in the world. Poaching, habitat destruction, climate change is all impacting these different species. Now, we support community-based organizations like the Giraffe Guards that are found in Kenya. And these are community members that are going through the environment and breaking down the snares that are used to capture these beautiful giraffe. Now, we have cameras set up in Kenya that are taking photos remotely, and these photos are being uploaded to wildwatchkenya.org. And you can visit that website and take a look at these photos. And not only look at them, but you can even help with research by helping to identify what you see in those photos. So you can be an ally as well as a community scientist. Now, what if I told you, if you are being treated for high blood pressure or heart failure, you can thank a giraffe for that. Giraffes have the highest blood pressure in the world. Their blood pressure is about 200 to 300 over 200. And because of that high blood pressure, we are able to learn how to treat high blood pressure in ourselves, as well as being able to treat heart failure because giraffes' hearts don't.
Hope you all like the tram ride like I did. Now, which way is the Elephant Valley? Maybe the lion camp is on our way to the Elephant Valley. Elephant Valley is not near the African tram.
No.
Well, in that case, we're just heading to the lion camp.
Yeah.
That's our way to the Elephant Valley. The canine?
That would go straight through.
Mommy, look.
Yeah, let's see if you can see them.
See what I mean?
Okay, go over there. Go check with Daddy. Go check with Daddy.
Come on, take it out.
I'm fine.
So you just follow this path, cross the service road, and then you'll see the one.
Hmm. Did you hear that?
Does it just float up there or does it actually release?
This must be our way to the Elephant Valley. According to the picture you can see right here.
That is green.
Did you see these berries? I think they're kind of fake.
So this has to be like this, like you baby.
Well, it's like one of, you know, but we can do that.
Which way did we go?
See that? I was right. That's our way to the Elephant Valley.
So what my point is like what's a little bit more walking?
What do we have here? No tripods or monopods beyond this point.
Where'd you go, partner?
No, we're actually on it. We're gonna finish it.
Look at that swimming pool for the elephants. Looks neat.
You good?
It's like blending in.
They're doing one thing right now. You know what? I gotta send you. What is it? The one over there is eating.
Oh yeah, these. This. The famous Who's your guy?
Hey, over there, look.
I can see a view from here.
What do you think?
It's beautiful.
You enjoying? It is fun.
It's cool, isn't it? I don't even realize that there is elephant crossing signs here. There's two of them. One over here and the other one over here.
Barely can see it.
You can even go see the elephants inside of one of these huts. See above you? You can even see another swimming pool here for the elephants. The new Elephant Valley was opened recently. First time being in the new Elephant Valley. Man, there's a lot more ways to see the elephants in the new Elephant Valley. I don't know if there's any elephants here. There's a lot on the other side. All right, we're in the cave now.
It's been a very slow process, but I was in the last week or something, but I was like, it's actually
Please be very quiet and stay behind the neck. There's still a
You can feel that, so that is textured to be like an elephant skin.
just a couple rules. So they're cleaning out the yard, but if you watch the neck, please be very quiet and stay behind the wheel.
Sometimes this cave always reminds me of like a mine. There's another glass here. You can see the exit sign here. That's how you exit the cave.
little bit bigger. Yeah. And like the females that over in the Asian elephants, the males and female have to fit fast. So we don't have any bulls here. They're all young too.
Okay, when you pulled the lever here, see the water comes out? That's where you're gonna fill your water bottle. But you don't ever put it in your mouth. That is disgusting. It's also rude and disrespectful. Not only that, you can get other people sick for doing that. Bottle fill station. That is why it's not a drinking fountain. But you can only fill your water bottle, but you don't drink it in your mouth. Period. Never seen this seating area like that before. Now you can see that swimming pool that closer. And look, more elephants that closer. I knew there was a lot more ways to see the elephants in this new Elephant Valley.
It's red. Why is it red?
Oh, really?
There's also coal in there too. Not really. Those are rocks. Now we're back at the lion camp. That way, we could find something to eat. The restaurant I really like is when they sell cheeseburgers and fries. Oh, look, eagle eggs.
Which I think they used.
To go.
Because I saved it because I was going to use it to go.
And you could have used it.
This is another bridge. We're just gonna have to keep looking around here to see if there's any cheetahs here before we're getting something to eat. Okapi. It's like giraffe and zebra. Antelope and horse. Danger in the forest. It looks like a turkey. don't think there's any vehicles coming either this direction or the other direction. No sign of cheetahs. That's too bad.
Open at a time, give the birds their space, and please do not try to catch or chase my bird.
Colorful birds. They're colorful.
Everybody's trained for 15. Do you want me to go ahead and head down there?
And as you go through, make sure you watch where you go and give the birds plenty of space. And if you have any food, make sure it stays in your pockets, your bags for me.
Thanks. There's one up there. There's a big waterfall here. There's a lot of different kinds of birds around the world, even in the wild. Wait, there's a cockatoo over here.